Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to your Lunch Break Live. My name is Ivana. If you're new here, if you're not, thank you for coming back. And it's Tuesday. We have, unfortunately, a lot of bad news happening in the world sometimes. And I think we get caught up a little bit in that news. Sometimes we get a little bit caught up in what's happening directly in our lives and with ourselves. So I thought today would be a really good day to step back and talk about something that many of us like to do at the holidays, and that is giving and helping others. So today I am joined by Major Charles Powell. He is the area commander for the Salvation Army of Greater Birmingham. And the Major is here today to talk with us about their season of giving and about Angel Tree. Now, Major, I know Angel Tree is something that so many of us really relate with Christmas and with the holiday season because we are so used to seeing it in the malls, and we are so used to seeing Salvation Army workers and volunteers ringing bells outside some of our large stores across town. So, Major, I have to ask you, are you worried about the amount of donations or the amount of giving that the Salvation Army will receive this year because of the financial effects people are experiencing in 2020?
That's a great question, Yvonne, and thank you for having me on this morning. The pandemic has brought changes in all of our lives, and it certainly has affected the Salvation Army. We have reinvented ourselves during this COVID thing so that we could continue to serve people that are in need and hopefully not expose them to things that they're otherwise exposed to. And part of that concern does spread into the Christmas season. The season we're in right now with how do we do kettles without spreading the disease around, or how do we do our Angel Tree distribution so that we don't give anything to parents that they're going to take home to their to the families. So it has changed everything. We've found ways to do the things that we do and continue to help people in need. And we're going to, we will be providing assistance for families this Christmas who are depending on us.
Now, I think probably most of us know how Angel Tree works, but for those of us who don't, can you explain what Angel Tree is?
Angel Tree is a wonderful concept. It's just a beautiful idea. You mentioned earlier about Christmas being a time of giving, and I don't know of anything that makes us feel better as people than to know that we've helped another person in some way. It's just so gratifying, and the Angel Tree program allows us to do that. Families come to the Salvation Army and make us aware of the fact that they need help with Christmas, especially with the pandemic. And we've had so many families who have been, the parents have been laid off, or the hours have been cut back, or they've lost their jobs entirely, and they're struggling to make ends meet, to keep food on the table, and how do I stay in my home, and utilities on, and toys is just something that's over and above all of that. And the Angel Tree allows us as a community to come around those people and help them by adopting a child for Christmas. And the angel cards that you could get have the child's name on it, their clothing size, a wish list that they have, and we can take those angels and buy for them and get them the things that we'd like to give them, maybe something on their list. And that takes such a burden off of the parents, and it makes us feel good about what we've been able to do.
I have so many memories of, especially when I was younger, walking through the mall with my mom and with my family. And
Sure.
we used to see those angels cut out and with all that information on the card hung up on the tree. And you would pick up the angel from the tree. And that was how, you could look at all of the different people in need, and you could choose the child that you were going to adopt to give those gifts to. But I would imagine, Major, that this year, just that touching is hard. And also there are not as many people going to malls. There are not as many people going out and doing shopping in person because of the pandemic. So
Right.
how have you been able to translate that Angel Tree experience and do it in a way where people don't have to physically go out and pick up that angel?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we have managed to do that. One, you can go online at our website, which is birminghamsalvationarmy.org, and you can adopt an angel online. And you can go to the Walmart website, and they've got a thing called Registry for Good, and you can buy toys for children through the registry. and they will ship them directly to us. So you pay for it online, they ship the things directly to us, and then we pack bags for those children that are in need. So there's several ways you can do that without actually going to the mall or to a store somewhere.
That's really interesting about Walmart. You being able to do it without ever leaving your couch. You don't have to
Mhm.
wrap anything. You don't have to do anything but buy it, and Walmart or the other retailer takes care of it. But
Correct.
Major, does that mean that you need more volunteers and you need more people to help pack and wrap and do everything to make these gifts happen?
Well, volunteerism is an important part of Salvation Army needs in every community. And this year is no exception. We need volunteers with our bell ringing. I know that's a little bit different than Angel Tree, but it all plays together, because if we don't raise the money, then there's a problem with being able to do the things that we do during the Christmas season. So we need volunteers on the kettles. We need people that'll help us with distribution. And again, you can go to our website, birminghamsalvationarmy.org, and there's a tab there for volunteers, volunteerism, and it'll have a list of the volunteer opportunities that are available right now or in the coming weeks. And you can see what fits your schedule and what your likes are, and come out and help and volunteer and help make a family's life a little brighter.
You talk about making families' lives a little bit brighter. And unfortunately, there's so many people across the country and especially here in Alabama that have financially faced a really hard time this year with losing a job, getting their hours cut, as you mentioned earlier, due to the pandemic and due to so many business closures because of pandemic regulations and rules. So have you seen a direct increase in the amount of children that you are needing to create these angels for?
Um, we are seeing an increase in families that are coming to us. This year, we are providing Christmas for about 3,100 children in the community, and that number goes up and down from one year to the next. What we have seen a dramatic increase this year is families coming to us with things like, how do I stay in my home? I need help with the rent, or I need help with utilities. We do a drive-through food distribution every Wednesday, and we're seeing people in those drive-through lines that last year were donors to the Salvation Army, and this year, because of the pandemic and the layoffs and all of that, for the first time in their lives, they're lining up to get help rather than to help others.
How does that feel for you to see people that maybe you know from being donors to Salvation Army, or who may have volunteered their time before to help Salvation Army, now being on the receiving end of that help?
This community, the Birmingham community, is such a generous community, and they enable me every day to be able to do what you've just described, to stand at the end of a food line and talk to families as they come through, and just give them an opportunity to share their story, and relieve a little bit of stress by just telling somebody about it. And I get to be the one that listens to what they have to say, and be sympathetic to what they're saying, and perhaps have a word of prayer with them, and hopefully let them leave with not only some food that their family needs, but perhaps a little hope for tomorrow.
You said that there are 3,100 children in the Birmingham area that are needing help. That number's just for the Birmingham area
Yes,
and
ma'am.
for the greater Birmingham. So
Right,
that
right.
putting that in perspective with across Alabama, 67 counties in Alabama, 3,100 kids, you might think at first glance that doesn't sound like a lot, but just for this one city, just for this one area, there are 3,100 kids. Is that alarming to you, or do you have any idea how the need is across the state right now?
You know, I It is alarming. I hate to see children that are in need. Kids don't have any control over any of that. So I hate to see that happen. But again, it's so gratifying to me to be able to be a part of the solution, and to help people, families with need, with their needs. So it is disturbing, but it's gratifying to be able to help.
So let's quickly talk about how we can help again. So tell us where we can adopt a child to be their angel this year, and if we don't have maybe the financial resources right now to give financially, what we can do otherwise to help.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now the interesting thing is today is the last day that you can go to Brookwood Village or to the Galleria Mall and actually adopt an angel. However, as I mentioned earlier, you can still go until the 15th. You can go to the Walmart website to their registry for good and buy toys for a child that way, and they'll box those up and ship those to us. So if people that are interested in still helping children with for Christmas, it's either today at malls, or you can go online and do it through the Walmart website. And beyond that, things that we still need help with is fundraising. We need contributions. The kettles are down because not as many people, as you mentioned, not as many people are going out to the malls and to the stores around the community shopping. We've had a far harder time this year finding people who are willing to help us volunteer at the kettles. So we don't have as many places open that people can give through. So that would be helpful. People can go online at our website, birminghamsalvationarmy.org, and click on the Donate Now button and make contributions that way. They can mail a check to our physical address, which is 2015 26th Avenue North. That would be very helpful. They can call and volunteer to help at the distribution site or here at the center to do things here that need to be done. So there's a lot of ways to help, and we're very grateful for what people do to make that help possible.
And one more question for you on the angel tree, and that is, do you have to live in the Birmingham area to adopt one of these angels for the Salvation Army of Greater Birmingham?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to live in this community to help, but the resources are going to help people that live in this community.
So again, today's the last day to go to Brookwood Village or the River Chase Galleria to pick out your angel in person. You have until the 15th to do that online through the Salvation Army's website or through Walmart.com. And
Right.
Major, I have one more question from you that might be a question of, maybe people in my generation have, and that is, there's so many of us who don't carry cash. So we go to some of these stores and we see the people ringing the bells with the kettles outside, and we don't have cash to give. What can we do? Those of us who don't carry cash, like myself, what can we do to give to these kettles and make a difference without having to carry cash?
Well, I'm part of that ranks. I carry very little cash anymore, but fortunately, we have come up with a system at each of our kettle locations. There's on the top of the kettle a QRL code. You can scan that with your phone, and it'll give you an opportunity to contribute right there through your phone.
I'm so glad to hear that. I was just talking with somebody the other day, and they said, they need to get one of those. So so you have solved the mystery, Major. If you don't carry cash, you can bring your phone, scan that QR code at any of the kettle locations, and give that way. Major, thank you so much for giving us your time and telling us how we can help out this holiday season to people that arguably need it the most right now.
Thank you, Ivana.
Thank you, Major. Everybody watching, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.